Needlepoint Sanctuary has announced its syringe service pilot program operation at Unitarian Universalist Society of Bangor will conclude on August 31st as planned. The program works to provide harm reduction, overdose prevention, HIV prevention and testing, and referral services to the Bangor community. Officials for MPS say the program has been a success and they're looking forward to continuing to provide their other services without the needle exchange. The executive director of MPS says the strategic decision to stop the program comes from the success of the program lowering the need and centering the syringe services at a more long-term location.
And our thinking is that we would continue providing services to the same population, but we would stop offering the syringe services as a gesture of solidarity with community members who were concerned, and also as a recognition that we have Ohio Street and we have some other options now, and that the pilot itself has been such an effective intervention that the need that led us to start it no longer exists as much.
Hurley says Needlepoint Sanctuary will continue to hold their Taco Tuesday events where they provide a meal and wraparound care for the Bangor area.